The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.
سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Allahu Akbar!
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel. Allahu Akbar! So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, and join the Hameen Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Changed man. I'm telling you, Roos is a changed man. And that doesn't bode well for his adversaries and his rivals.
Right now, Dax Harwood picking up where Roos left off here, just taking the measure of Ricky Starks.
Because that's the danger when you are a champion. Anytime everybody gunning for you, if somebody can pick up a victory over you, almost guarantees them a tag title opportunity.
A lot of hungry souls around this ring here tonight.
High angle, elbow drops.
And it gets more intense by the moment here. Our main event tonight on Collision here on TNT. Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Nigel McGuinness with you, and thank you for being with us. 8-man tag team match. Nigel has been on the verge of becoming out of control on more than one occasion.
As you talked about, it was dissolving at ringside as Prince Nana there getting involved. FTR, LFI eager to get back into this matchup, and of course it came from just last week where we saw Ricky Starks had beaten Dax in the match with the House of Black watching. They came in the ring, then LFI got involved. Cover! Chaos ensued, and it has carried on here tonight.
Well, and of course we saw House of Black watching on earlier tonight from the stands here in Wichita. Right now, Ricky Starks making a little bit of a comeback here, guys.
We saw this earlier tonight. This is how you do it. The originator of the top rope.
Ricky Starks comes off down on Dax Harwood.
Amazingly athletic, great balance. You just don't fall off the turnip truck and learn how to do that.
Oh, you
Take a look at this.
Drop across the apron.
Where does Ricky Stark come up with this stuff?
1, 2, 2 count.
And he did remember to hook the leg. He did everything right. Just a little too much Dax on that exchange.
You know, it's amazing that Ricky Starks and now Big Bill who's in the ring, a World Tag Team Champions, the fact they haven't teamed that much together. Ricky Starks has picked up our Gap 10 set here.
Oh, fantastic.
I guess he wants to
well, you're not doing a good enough job for me. I want to give a shout out to my friend Big Bill. Look at him.
Man, what a guy. I feel like I've known him forever, but it's only been 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, don't brush me off,
You
pal.
may want to go back to your corner because you are in a wrestling match. I
No,
must remind
give him
you.
your seat, Tony. Let him sit down.
We are, but sometimes you got to do it yourself. Look at
Okay,
that.
well, that's Big Bill
He's a world champion.
Took a big chance there to the big man, almost 7 feet tall. When a
Well, you make a
7-footer leaves his feet, he better have some good odds.
That's right. And quickly, Daz will bring in Rooch.
Here comes that animal, Roosh.
Headbutt from the bull. Oh, and a big elbow shot. And a big knee from Rooch. He's taking on all of them. Rooch.
Roosh is like a wild animal, let out of a cage. With all this pent-up emotion.
The horns. No.
Fans like it.
Oh, he really chipped off Ricky Starks. Oh, and a power slam. Rooch baited him in. 1, 2.
Oh, Ricky Starks still alive.
That's about a half a count away for old Rick.
Man. All right.
Come on, Ricky.
Fans, on sale now, our final pay-per-view of the year, AEW World's End for the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Tickets went on sale yesterday, Saturday, December 30th. Tickets on sale now at AEWTIX.com. But Nigel, that's not all we got going.
Finally not. We heard on Wednesday, 24th of August next year. Tickets are going to be available December the 1st, but you can sign up to get early access at ticketmaster.co.uk/AEW Wembley 2024.
Wow, going back to Wembley. 1, 2.
Near fall in this main event.
And, headbutt.
These are two big men, ladies and gentlemen. A 300-pounder, one that's probably not that far from it, or soon will be.
What a win that would have been for Roosh over the world champions.
What a coulda, shoulda, who cares? Oh, wow, look at that. Toa Leona, the speed all the way over the top, but now...
Very athletic.
Forearm shot. Tried to discus elbow that time, but it picked him up. Big Bill. And that's a intimidating look from Big Bill. Down.
No.
They were trying for the big rig that time, but no, Big Bill was just too much, too big to get up right then.
Well, the former champions trying to make a statement instead. The current champion.
And now,
You gotta bring your lunch if you're gonna take on Big Bill. I can tell you that right now. He's getting better and better every single week.
yeah, what a comeback it has been for Roosh here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Release German suplex that time for Roosh.
Former Ring of Honor champion has certainly shown something. Has returned to action here.
Absolutely. A lot of momentum behind him, there is no question. Roosh. Here we go, the bull and the horns. No, Ricky with it.
Out of nowhere.
Ricky Starks
Just exploded, Tony.
met Roosh with a spear. And as you can see, both men are down.
The world champion with a huge move in our main event tonight.
Here it is
Take
again.
one more look. Roosh was coming in, but instead, Pretty Ricky got the job done.
And now Bishop Khan is in. Fans start their "This is awesome" chant. We've got just 8 phenomenal athletes going down to watch out from behind.
Look out here.
Well, there's some cohesion.
Yes,
on
Dan
the other
Carlin
side.
helped, but no, it's Bishop Khan. Sending Ricky on the outside, or Ricky that is sending him on the outside. And now
Roosh is the legal man.
Standing switch by Bishop Khan. Oh,
man.
Big thrust kick caught him.
Right on the jaw.
Oh,
Flash on flash. Makes a very uncomfortable noise.
Get out of there, Ricky.
big discus swinging right hand by Roosh. Roosh will make a tag to Dax.
Now, former AEW Tag Team Champion in there for the Ring of Honor 6-man Tag Team Champion.
Dax makes a tag back to Roosh. And a pickup. Oh! It was a big rig!
That's got to be it. That's got to be it.
Roosh! Coming down to the big rig!
Come
now
to the
finish
right
it.
leg. Oh!
It's a human demolition derby here. Bodies flying, crashing everywhere.
Roosh, still the legal man in the ring. Fans chanting his name. Want to come back and spin it now. If you mess with the bull, you Bishop Khan is down. Roosh, 1, 2, 3.
Got it! My God!
What a comeback. What a return for Roosh.
What a main event! Here tonight on Collision.
A demonstrative victory for the leader of La Facción Ingobernables.
And Roosh and Preston Vance walk away once again when FTR wanted to shake the hands.
Well, LFI feel like they didn't need FTR. They're the ones that picked up the victory here tonight.
All I know is that Roosh is a difference maker.
I have never seen Bishop Khan pinned so strongly in the middle of the ring.
They would not shake the hands after the match. The hands of FTR after the match. FTR, Roosh, and Preston get the win. But there'll be
now has got to be concerned.
So your best friend's gone. And the only people that truly seem to care about you is, what's us?
You are two men obsessed with being champions. Let the house show you that your legacy is worth so much more than your weight in gold.
And if you don't believe us, then we'll beat it into you.
Again, tricky. Whoa!
Wait a minute!
It was a ruse! There they are! House of Black!
House of Black assaulting these men with vengeance and violence and uncontrolled fury. Look at them.
This, the wheelhouse of the House of Black. Their calling card.
Yeah, they obviously had FTR's back turned. And now taking the measure of dance. Hold on a second, what do we got here?
Blackpool Combat Club.
Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta with a ready-to chair.
The club is having an impromptu meeting.
Oh, that time Wheeler cracked him on the back, and Brody. Again, wait a minute. I think there's time for a big, giant swing. No! And quickly, Malachi Black is out. How about what we have seen tonight? The return of Roosh, a sneak attack by House of Black, and then it was members of the Blackpool Combat Club coming to the aid of FTR.
Man, you got to be excited about the youth and the talent here that you see every Friday night, Tony.
And you got to be excited about what we got coming up on Wednesday night, including MJF defending the world title against Daniel Garcia. Fans, it's been another great night live on TNT. See you Wednesday on TBS.
Good night, everybody.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the aftermath of WCW Thunder here on the HMG. No, sorry, wait, that's wrong. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the aftermath of AEW Collision. Yes, folks, say it with me. After the collision comes
the Wreckage.
The Wreckage, brought to you by channelattitude.com. Please subscribe for $5 a month in the Jaime Media Group. This is the Wreckage. I'm Christopher Ambs, that's AMBS, like lambs with no L or bullshit first thing in the morning. Don't worry if you're listening and thinking to yourself, how will I ever remember how to spell this man's last name? I'm just going to remind you at the beginning of every show I do. Joining me is my usually unusual co-host with the most from the Port Phillip Coast. True podcasting talent is a thing you can feel, but as we all know about Australia, it's not real!
I knew you were going to say that. I was going to say nothing is real.
Jimmy T, how the hell are you?
I'm tired. I am old. But I don't work with children, thank God. You know what I mean? So that's the plus. But I'm cool, man. After a raucous morning of Crown Jewel, and then a good old 3.5-hour show right after that, I'm ready for the Wreckage. And I'm ready to sit through it.
This is why you gotta take my advice, Jimmy. You gotta take what I did on those shows with John, because John is such a nice guy, right? But he likes long shows, right?
I love John, man.
At a certain point, at 2 hours, just click the X. Disappear.
I love John, but I'm not gonna lie. I thought of you. I'm not gonna lie. I thought of doing that. I swear. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just disappear. But nah, man. I stayed the whole way through. I ended up. I went to sleep at 10 a.m.
That's crazy, bro. 10 a.m.
Yeah.
10
a.m., bro. Right now it is 3:06 a.m. I woke up at midnight around that time.
See, this
and I'm
is
still tired.
This is just exactly what I'm talking about. Australia is not real. You're just pretending. This can't possibly be a real thing.
It's not, man. I wish it wasn't.
It can't be another time somewhere else, right, Vet?
Oh, no.
Who, me? Oh, podcasting, by the way, is an adventure for a team, but he's our most vet person, our MVP. Welcome back to your show, Vet.
Oh, I'm just hanging out. This is your guys' show, and I loved it so much I wanted to be a part of it. And it's fitting, too, because to make up for Jimmy, I'm the realest motherfucker there is.
Yeah.
That's true. I said that myself on the last show we did, so yeah, true. The realest.
Just the realest. Everybody else is pretend.
Well, I don't exist, so, you know.
That's true. Well, you exist. You're an actor from Britain.
From Britain. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Where acting was invented.
Actually, it was in Greece, wasn't it? That's where the word drama comes from.
English. Okay. Shakespeare wrote all the acting, and the actors acted it.
That's right. That's how
I see.
Yeah.
God damn you, Shakespeare.
Greek tragedies aren't for plays. They're for they're just books. They're just books. Greeks just invented writing and democracy and maybe a handful of other cool things, but not everything. Fuck the Greeks.
Hey, settle down, Chris. Come on.
All right. Guys, I'm going to tell you before we get into the show here, this, the reason why I introed it the way that I did about being WCW Thunder and why, in the description, if you read the description for the show,
I loved it, bro.
Jimmy, it basically just compared this show to WCW Thunder and my name today, Thunderist Collision Yet. This show has consistently been, I think, the best show that AEW has put out on a weekly basis, and I don't know if that has exactly changed, but it certainly felt like a minor show today. All of the matches that were talked about were being set up for Wednesday, right? The matches that I want to see are being set up for Wednesday, right? Joe and Keith Lee, that's going to happen Wednesday. So it just kind of left me feeling a lot like I did when I was watching WCW Thunder, which is why the fuck am I watching this show if all I'm doing is setting up for good stuff to happen on the other show?
True. You're not wrong, man. And this one, no shit, man. Like, that's why I laughed when you did that description. Like I was telling you about the intro, like on the PWC version, I have the Thunder theme. Because that's what it's been reminding me of lately. This was meant to be a Nitro, was it not? Instead, we're getting Thunder. Let's just hope we don't get to Saturday night, like around the 97, 98 period. And then till the end.
Yeah, not great. Vet, did you get a similar feeling, or I'm sure that you have an opinion?
I do have those. It's funny because while this show was kind of whack, I also found myself enjoying it a little bit partially because I got a chance to relax and not have to speed through everything. Because of daylight savings time, I got home an hour earlier, so I didn't have to. I could leisurely watch the end of the show and take in some things. And I do think that while they are setting up what seems to be a very entertaining Dynamite this week, I feel like that's something that every show should be doing, is leading into the next show. However, when you get to that show, you do have to have your own show for that. So if Dynamite delivers on Wednesday and then sets up some cool matches for Collision and then points us toward Collision, or Rampage going into Collision, or whatever, however they do it, you have to just keep handing the baton off like a relay race to get people to continue watching. I mean,
and that's called synergy.
Yeah, it is. If you want to use a corporate buzzword that's been extremely tired for 25 years or more, then yes, it's synergy. But it's also something that, for example, the WWE, I don't necessarily get that feeling. They want to make you think that their brands are separated. Mm-hmm. So Raw is, even though they're not doing anything interesting in terms of competing, like per se with a SmackDown. Like there's no that kayfabe sense of competition that they used to have. You know, when they first split the brands, that doesn't really exist right now. It could come back, but it's just more like each show is existing in their own universe, unless it's, you know, wild card bitches and somebody shows up on a show randomly, or, you know, now that they've got distinct GMs, you know, perhaps they could start leaning in that direction. But let's just say, by and large, for the past 5 years or so, it seems like Raw's universe has been its own universe, SmackDown universe has been its own universe, and that's kind of silly when you think about it. So, especially with all the people going back and forth. So my point is, while I see what you're saying about where, you know, it's kind of like, I think what you're saying is kind of like, it's like the equivalent of when, you know, wrestlers come on to a show and then they promote something that's not going to happen that night. Like, I'm going to take you on at the pay-per-view that everybody in this arena is not going to be at. And then they're supposed to get excited that they're going to miss out on it and get to watch it on TV, right? Like, maybe there's a little bit of that, but, you know, like I said, as long as they start delivering on each show and then setting up the next show, then I don't have a problem.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a big if, though.
I'm gonna take that title from you, Vet. I'm gonna annihilate you in the ring. What do you think, Toronto? Should I beat up Vet? All right then, Vet. I'm gonna face you in 3 weeks' time in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, at the Montreal show. Thank you, Toronto. Thank you.
On my time.
Yeah.
On my time, Chris.
Yeah. It's good. It's good heel work. It's good heel work.
You know, I'm glad you guys mentioned daylight savings, because I was stressing. I was thinking, shit, don't we start at my time, 2 a.m., right? Because I'm thinking, no one's getting back to me. What's going on, right? And then I realized, I remember John mentioning about daylight savings. So I'm thinking, does that mean it's an hour later? Must be. And thank God.
Do you not do daylight wasting time in
Australia? Yeah. We've already done it now, because we're in spring now, but we're going into the summer. We always do it in October, but you guys hadn't done it yet. So, and now that you have, The good thing is, well, at least for me now, all the wrestling shows start at 12 midday. So that's a good thing for me. Because usually it would start at 9 a.m. most times.
It's time to get rid of this once and for all. As the great Duke the Dumpster Drozy would say, it's time to take out the trash. The trash being daylight savings time in this case.
You don't like it?
It's useless.
It's the most pointless thing that's ever existed in the history of mankind.
Yes.
Interesting. No, because yeah. But I do
why should everybody change their clock? Why don't you just get up earlier?
Bro.
The time doesn't actually the concept of time doesn't actually change. All you're doing is moving the clock back and forth.
Bro, and I got to tell you too, like when daylight savings time first became a thing, the people who the government told us that they were doing it for was the farmers, right? Oh, these poor farmers, they have to get up at the crack of dawn and this, that, and the other thing. And therefore we need to help them out and make it so that, they have more hours during the daylight and this. Farmers don't give a fuck what the clock says. Farmers they wake up super fucking early. They go and do all their fucking chores. They come back home and they eat the fucking pig that they slaughtered. And then they go to sleep. They fuck their wife. They wake up the next day and they do it all over again. They do that 365 days a year. That's what farmers do. And I laugh as a Canadian because, like, we have provinces, right? So the farmerist of all the all the provinces in this country is Saskatchewan, right? There is nothing going on in Saskatchewan except farming. There's just farming all the time. All they ever do is farming, right?
Even Brock Lesnar has a farm.
Their sports team should just be called the Farmers because that's the only thing they have in Saskatchewan.
That'd be funny though if it was.
I lived in Saskatoon for a year, and do you know what one province in Canada said to the government? No, we're not doing daylight savings time because it's fucking stupid.
I'm going to guess based on your lead up that it was Saskatchewan.
Fucking Saskatchewan. The farmerists of all the provinces were like, no, the farmers don't need this.
So did they implement it even to this day? Or?
No. I still have to figure out when I'm talking to my Uncle Bill and my Auntie Brenda, I still have to try to figure out, okay, what are we an hour behind them now, or are they on the same time as we are? Because it just changes that way now.
That's funny.
Daylight savings time is an absolute waste of fucking everybody's time and effort and energy. That's why I always call it daylight wasting time, because there's no
And I had to look at that twice. I'm like, did you say wasting time? Did he mean to say that? But I got it.
Yeah. Daylight wasting time. It's not great. It's not great. All right. Do we have any wrestling news, Jimmy? Anything that needs to be covered? Did anything interesting happen at Crown Jewel, for instance?
Crown Jewel, and I'm not going to say it was pretty flat, man. Put it that way. It's probably the worst WWE PLE all year, easily, by far. It's not even close. And to WWE's credit, they've been consistent with decent PLEs until here. But I think it's more the fans. I won't blame the wrestlers. The wrestlers tried. It's more the fan base that was in attendance just had no energy like usual. They tried. They got up for a few matches, in particular the main event. They loved Cody, for example. They loved LA Knight. They loved Roman. But everyone else, they did do a CM Punk chant, dude. There was one time they did a CM Punk chant, and that tripped me out because I'm like, are they chanting CM Punk? I'm like, fuck, I think they're chanting CM Punk. It was like CM Punk, CM Punk. The shout outs to our Saudi listeners.
Best in the world. World includes Saudi Arabia.
It's true, man. Oh, but that's another thing that stood out. It was a damn propaganda show if I ever saw one. I mean, all you see is the WWE wrestlers putting over Saudi Arabia in like commercials and shit. Like, look at we're conservative now, and like,
the funniest one to me was they had one for like the Saudi airline.
Oh,
it's like, look, you don't have to sell me on this airline because I'm not going there. I can't take Saudi Air for a United States flight, so I'm not going to be able to experience this wonderful airline.
I can't take Saudi Air the next time I go to Amarillo. Like, what the fuck?
Right? Yeah. It sounds very nice. I would love to give them a try. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going anywhere I'm going. So, but hey,
yeah, man.
And it's not like you'd have any other. Like, I don't think I'm going to get a Southwest flight to Riyadh either. I don't think they go there. So it's kind of like some things you just don't have to sell, right? I guess is my point.
Yeah. You don't have
man,
to
it made me sick at how bad the bullshit was, man. Honestly, it was way more than usual than what they do in previous events in Saudi Arabia. This one was like, oh my God, man. Like the propaganda was through the roof. Even, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure you probably do. But they were in the desert, right? In Riyadh, right? Outside of that strip of high rises, not even that many, right? It's all just the slums around it, dudes. It's literally just slums. And people think Saudi Arabia is rich. No. The families over there are rich. Like your Salmans, your bin Salmans and those guys, they're rich. The people, most of them are poor, man. Their GPDs don't even touch our ones. Like all our countries, obviously. Like no, not even close.
Everybody in the West tends to complain about capitalism being run amok, and it's terrible. It's terrible. All the rich people have all the money, and everyone else is poor. And I'm just like, you have no idea. Please go somewhere. Just travel a little bit. You'll figure out exactly how fair it is in the Western countries. Jesus Christ!
And you know what else is funny? They were bragging about how they sold that event out in 2 hours. You know what's funny though? Those tickets don't even go on sale to the public. Do you know what I mean? It's not even. It's all a facade. It's all just bullshit.
Well, it is strange though, because they're wrestling fans there. Like,
yeah, well, it seems like
you can't deny that the people that are sitting there are like up on the product. Yeah. Like it's not this. If this was like this isn't like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This isn't Collision in Korea. They didn't march prisoners into the
it's close.
Into the
it's
stadium.
Close, not like that.
No,
right.
it's not even close, dude.
No, I know.
Dude,
that's true.
How would you get? Why would you get them to chant CM Punk, bro? Like, how the fuck would they even know to do
Honestly,
that?
I'm glad you said it though, because I wasn't sure that I was hearing CM Punk in my head. I'm like, that sounds like CM Punk, but I wasn't 100% certain. So the fact that you said it, Vet, just sort of convinced me now that it was a CM Punk chant. But yeah, you're right. I mean.
Anyway, but the show was, it was. The best part is that Kyrie came back.
Yeah, and no one gave a shit, which was even worse.
Well, how are they supposed to know? She didn't look like she ever looked before. They didn't make a noise until they actually got like a close up on her that they could see on the monitor, and then they kind of were like, oh, but
I think it was the wrong show to bring her back personally, man. That's just me, but.
Yeah, I'm confused. Did Kyrie Irving change his gender? Why do we keep saying she? When?
Kyrie Sane, we're talking about.
Who's that?
You remember the pirate Japanese wrestler?
She's the pirate princess.
Which one? Isn't there multiple pirates?
No, just one pirate. Just one pirate who's also a princess. And she's a sky, and she was a sky pirate once with Io Sky, and they're gonna
and now they're together again.
Team. Yeah.
Wait, she's not the same person as Io Sky.
Do you remember the Kabuki? Do you remember the Kabuki Warriors?
Person. She's her own pirate person.
Yeah,
wow.
Pirate princess person.
Wow.
Triple P.
Yeah.
Triple P. That sounds kind of weird, but anyway, we won't go there. We are celebrating 69 day, right?
69 day. Woo!
Yeah.
Except it's 70 day today because it's the day after.
Oh. Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But we're gonna pretend it's Saturday night.
All right. Yeah, Saturday night. Drinks are on me. Just kidding. That's Dr. Pepper. Okay. I guess let's get into the show then. The show opens with their cold open promos from Lance Archer, Darby Allin, LFI and FTR, and the Mogul Embassy Kingdom of the Embassies and Moguls. The Kingdom of Mogul Embassies. The Embassy of Mogul, whatever. Those guys. So we open the night with Swerve Strickland taking on AR Fox.
Yep. I wish I swerved to the side while this match was happening.
Man, it really is like this company's biggest problem, like by a mile, is like inconsistency. Because Swerve Strickland, I got to tell you, man, like after that last pay-per-view when he got the win over Hangman, the way that they set all that up was like, okay, Swerve is going to be like a real, like legitimate top of the card type guy moving forward. And he has not been at all. Case in point, he's here taking on AR Fox, who he might be the middest of all mid people who's ever midded in wrestling. You know what he reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of like a way more boring version of Elix Skipper from WCW. Like he can physically do a bunch of stuff, and you're like, oh, look at the cool stuff he can do. Look at all of the physical things that he is capable of. And then he's terrible at basically everything else. And every time I see him work, I think he's going to injure himself. He takes bumps that seem completely unnecessary. He falls out of the corner like you just worry that he's about to break his neck every minute of a match. I don't understand. First of all, I still don't understand why AR Fox is back to being a good guy. He was a heel because he was good, and then he helped assault a man in his own garage, wiped up the blood, and then wore that shirt as like a look at my war crime that I'm proud of moment. And then he was just a good guy again because he fucked up and Swerve was mad at him or something.
He apologized.
Yeah, he sure did. I need him to apologize again. But in general, like just a general apology for everything, you know? Yeah, this match was kind of aggressively meh. And Swerve Strickland should have beat the fucking tar off of this kid. Vet,
choice of words.
Tell me something I'm missing.
Okay. The first thing you're missing is the very first thing you're missing is he apologized. The second thing is that I think they probably just, for whatever reason, they probably just looked at this as like, okay, these guys, we need a match, so we're going to put these guys in a match. I've been seeing these guys wrestle each other since goddamn Lucha Underground season 1. Like this has been a while that these guys have known each other, worked together, worked against each other. It's just like one of those things that to anybody that's kind of followed along, it's like they just keep coming back to each other somehow. So they probably were just like, okay, look, I can put these guys in a match and I don't have to think. We need to keep Swerve in the people's eyes, even though they're doing the stupidest things ever. It's a good thing Swerve hasn't committed any crimes worse than choking out an actor's son backstage, because he'd probably be fired if he did.
For sure.
Especially if they filmed it and sent it to the AEW production people, or broadcast it live, or hacked a live broadcast and showed it. Any of that stuff that I said, if they had done any of that, that would be crazy. But yeah. As far as AR Fox goes, I see what you're saying. I'm not into the kid. But the way you described him, you could have took his name out and put almost anybody else that works here in there. So that's a problem too. In that way, they are consistent. AEW, that is. But
yeah.
As a match, this was basically just something competitive, to keep Swerve in the public view, I think.
Yep.
In the public view. And that's the thing, guys. I mean, they truly don't know how to move forward with certain guys. For example, like just now, Swerve, you get him to beat Hangman Adam Page, right? He wins, awesome. You think he's going to move forward, but then he goes backwards. Like the next couple of nights on Dynamite, he's back to doing nothing. Then he's in Hangman's house while I guess his wife was sleeping I mean, what a great mother she is, right? Wasn't concerned, didn't hear anything. And then the interactions really haven't been happening. What's going on? Like really, it's like it's gone flat. This whole feud is gone flat. And now you have him wrestling AR Fox. Where was Hangman? I mean, I just don't understand how this company doesn't understand how to progress his storylines. I mean, and like Swerve's not the only one. You've got, what's his name? Wardlow is another victim of this, right? Where they make him hot and then suddenly they not only cool him off, they extinguish him completely. I mean, they're just gone for good. And this is a trend in AEW and it just doesn't seem to stop.
Add to that face and heel turns for no reason consistently. And you might actually think that Paul White
on a weekly basis.
Show.
Yeah. I mean, but you mentioned the heel and babyface turns. Dude, look at the BCC. It's 1 week they're heels, and the next week they're babyfaces.
Yes.
Like
sometimes it's the same week. Sometimes it's Wednesday.
Same night.
Saturday they're heels.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
It is. It is bizarre. Anyway, Swerve Strickland gets the win, as he should have. After the match, the Mogul Embassy of Nations of many embassy nations, moguls. The Swervers. The Swervers. They surround AR Fox like they're going to beat him up, but then FTR come out to make the save. And then Big Bill and Ricky Starks try to get involved, but LFI, who are a thing, run them off. And then the House of Black are also there to watch.
The cucks.
That's cool. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that anymore.
I guess there isn't, right? Jeez.
Yeah, so they did all of this basically to set up for the main event, which is a big 8-man schmoz fest that we'll get into later. And also,
why is this show always based on tag team?
Malachi Black and them are still alive. What was that, Jimmy? Sorry.
Why does this show continuously, other than last week, have multi-man tag team main events generally on Collision or Thunder, whatever it is?
That seems to be their thing. It's a shtick that they've basically stuck with. Ha ha.
They're stuck with it, right?
They've stuck with their shtick of having multi-man matches to main event, and it was fine when it was the only way we were getting CM Punk to build, big time feuds and stuff. But when you're having, multi-man matches and you're the multi-man match that you're having is between, the minor tag team group that's with Swerve and the other tag team with the big dude and the little dude against the fat dudes and the bald dude and the other guy. Like, it's not such a big deal. Probably not worthy of main eventing a lot. So I would suggest they need to work on that. Unless you consider Rush a main eventer, which
got potential to be.
I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Video package next. For the AEW World Championship match between MJF and Daniel Garcia. Because he got one win.
Butts in seats.
Because he had one win. And he pointed out after the one win when he was on the microphone, I haven't had a singles match in AEW in 3 months. And now that I've won once, I want a world title match. So he's going to get it. Hey, Todd, it's real easy to get world title matches. Just ask for one. That's all you got to do. Todd.
Yeah, she mentions how he hates it when my shtick gets stuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
This package scared me because I thought that match was tonight. I forgot it was for Wednesday. And when they started talking about it, I was like, oh no.
Well, you're saved actually, Vet.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, we get MJF talking, and I don't know. I'm kind of tired of MJF at this point. Face MJF is actually kind of boring, and face MJF, who literally has everyone that he's trying to, fight. Everyone wants to fight face MJF. How come everybody doesn't want to fight him when he's a heel? I don't understand. Anyway, yeah, he's got one more guy he's got to face, and that's Daniel Garcia on Wednesday. So that'll.
So
be
that's
good.
11 now. That's actually number 11.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Wow.
People should be lining up to kick the shit out of Daniel Garcia for stepping ahead of him. Like he should become the new MJF all of a sudden, where he's got,
and he's just dancing the whole time, in front of everybody.
If I'm Samoa Joe and I saw that promo, I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't get the
His company, man.
Why would you get a match?
Right, someone needs to be asking that, man. Do you think, guys, maybe they need, a TV authority figure at this point?
Yeah. I want to say, there are certain things that are pretty much troped to death. That's one of those ones that's pretty well troped to death.
Right, but you know what? It works, though.
I think it can work. I do think that there's a possibility of having an on-screen, but you have to play it straight, and you have to play it in a way that would seem legitimate and make sense, right? I don't want
it has to make sense, though. Definitely.
I don't want any more Vince McMahons, because everybody who tries to do Vince McMahon does it worse than Vince McMahon.
That's fair.
If you're going to have an on-screen authority figure, give me another Gorilla Monsoon, where he just plays it straight.
Would you stop?
And when he says something, you as an audience member go, it makes sense why the company is making that decision.
Like a Jack Tunney, even?
Jack Tunney's a good example. They've done it before. It's not like you can't have on-screen authority figures that make sense, but just make it make sense, right? So,
but we're talking about AEW here. WWE continuously always does it.
For instance, if there was somebody here who was the on-screen authority figure, let's say the fucking Arn Anderson, just whatever, okay? Arn Anderson's your on-screen authority figure, and Daniel Garcia comes to his office and goes, I just had my first win in 3.5 months in AEW. I want a world title match. Arn Anderson needs to go, get out of my office.
He gets his Glock. Boom. No chance.
Get out of my office. Get some more wins and then come back to me when you've beaten a few people who matter. Not one win in 3 months. Get out of here. Go away.
Well, this clearly states that wins and losses really don't matter. Truly.
That's what I've heard about AEW. That's what they've told me consistently.
Could have fooled me.
That wins and losses matter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Lizbeth actually has a great has a great comment there, her last one. It says, okay, I'll do it. The entire roster is getting sprayed with a water bottle and told. No.
Yeah, remember that?
Actually,
geez.
That would be funny. That would be funny if you had an on-screen authority figure, and if you had Daniel Garcia come in and be like, I just got my first win in 3.5 months, and I want a world title match, and they just sprayed him with the water bottle and went, no.
No, Daniel. No.
No. Daniel, no.
That's good.
I understand the sentiment that she's going for, but I don't know if you realize this, but wrestlers love spraying with water bottles.
That's actually true. That's a fact.
When does a dry wrestler ever come out?
That is literally 100% fact. That is so fucking touche, that one, if I ever saw one.
Thanks for that.
That is good. Oh, man.
Well, so
Brett was famous for that.
The issue is we're not going to get an authority figure because we know that Tony Khan is the authority figure, and he's not even going to have you in a kayfabe sense pretend that somebody else is calling the shots there. We know they're not going to do it for a shoot, but we're not even going to pretend that somebody else is calling the shots. We know this is Tony. However, he also promised that he was never going to have that on-screen role, which to his credit, he has adhered to this entire time. He just comes out to be I have an announcement, guys. Like he's that guy, but he doesn't really do other than the infamous and, legendary 9 days from tonight promo. He's never flexed any sort of authority whatsoever in terms of booking and those kind of things. And that's fine. And that's the way it should be. But that still doesn't solve the problem of the consistency of people just wandering around, proclaiming that they deserve things, people just being given things with no explanation, people just showing up and getting things, impromptu title matches happening on the spot. Like, I don't know if we're going to talk about that tonight. Let's see how the show goes. But,
but see, who's booking this shit legitly, like on screen? Like they don't.
Well,
tell
we know it's
right.
Tony, but he just doesn't want to go out there in front of the cameras for it. Yeah, but still, but they still done that many times where, Tony Schiavone will be like, I'm getting a message in my earpiece, and then he'll stand up. Like they'll give Tony Khan the credit of making matches, but he just won't go out there.
Right. Maybe he should appear as a laptop. Remember that?
I have here a message from the known general manager.
No. Yeah, and it's Tony. Or something like what's that dude in the wheelchair's name again? I've gone blank. God damn it. Remember
Professor Xavier?
No, the guy's like
Roderick Strong?
Nah, yeah. No, the what's his name, dude? It's like, I don't like me. You know what I mean?
Stephen Hawking.
That's it, Stephen Hawking. Maybe maybe
of all the fucking things that you can talk about with Stephen Hawking, like you could be like, he's like that genius guy who like basically came up with the way that we understand space currently, like that guy.
Right.
No.
He's like Tony Khan.
That guy who talks like that. Jesus fucking Christ.
He's the wheelchair speak and spell guy.
Oh fuck.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, you would think that booking a consistent wrestling show was astrophysics. If you ever watched an episode of any AEW program.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we get Jay White, and he talks about how he's going to defend. That's right, defend his AEW World Championship at Full Gear. Fuck, man. I gotta say, I said this last week. Actually, I said this I think the last time we did the skirmish. I can fully accept that I was wrong about Jay White at this point. That guy is money. That guy is absolutely the right guy to be world champion. And I am hoping beyond hope that he wins the title at Full Gear because he is just excellent. And every single time I see him on my screen, I'm left with this good feeling of, God, at least somebody gets it. At least somebody in this fucking company understands. Because Jay White is so good at what he does, man. And
not only is he so good, but he's managed to make even the guns so good. Like really, like
honestly, they seem like a bigger deal. And I said this.
do.
I said this in the skirmish, right, Jimmy? I said like that entrance that they do, where they circle around the four of them, and they all get their moment to sort of shine in the spotlight as the camera's panning around them. That is such a fucking awesome entrance. Like it's so good for everybody. Because it elevates the group, and it also helps elevate every single person that's in the group. Because they're all different and they all get their personality over in a 2-second fucking moment as the camera's panning around them. It's so money. Just excellent stuff.
100% agree with that, man. I mean, you just can't fuck them up, man, right now. Like, they've managed to get themselves over, but not only over, I think they've improved being together. You know what I mean? Legitly, even Juice. I couldn't stand Juice at one stage. You know what I mean? Now I'm starting to love him. You know what I'm saying?
Great
so it's like
in the part that he's playing right now, where
absolutely
he's a fucking mental case, right?
Yeah.
And that can get really old if he's by himself or if he's the lead of a group, right? But exactly what he is, which is that secondary guy who Jay White kind of keeps around because he's like this is a mad lad right here. But at least he's
like the enforcer of this Bullet Club Gold per se. You know what I mean?
It really is the right thing. It's the right place for him. And I feel like they can screw up the Bullet Club Gold as far as their booking, but they can't actually make the Bullet Club Gold not good. Like that, even if they book them completely wrong, and they have in the past, by the way, I still maintain that booking Jay White to go 15 minutes with Commander in his opening match is stupid fucking booking. But that doesn't make Jay White less. It makes your booker look like a fucking idiot, but it doesn't make them less. I think that group right now, I mean, they're the highlight of every AEW show for me.
Likewise, I agree.
One of Jay White's 25 nicknames is the catalyst of professional wrestling. So it may be more than just a nickname, guys.
For sure. I agree, man.
Really, though, like that is a good way to describe who he is, not just to this group, but to everything going on in AEW. He seems to be like that lightning rod, that thing right in the center of the fucking show that like you can point to and say, at least that's good. Like at least that bit is good, right? So man, good on him and good on them.
He took credit, if you remember, like not that long ago, he took credit for the entire formation of AEW in the first place, saying these guys couldn't cut it in New Japan, so they had to run off and form their own company. And he'll take things like that, and he'll take kayfabe things and try to make them real, or he'll take real things and try to make them kayfabe. He's always working with what he's given, which is, you know, what any great pro wrestler would do. And there used to only be two true heels in professional wrestling, and he was one and MJF was the other. Well, MJF was like a cartoony heel, but now he's even beyond cartoony. Now he's getting dragged down into the muck, and he can't do everything. So now you really only have one heel left in the entire professional wrestling business. I mean, that anybody cares about. Maybe somewhere there's somebody being a heel that's really cool that nobody's talking about. But for right now, there's only really one heel left. Huh?
Mark Jackson. Yeah, he's a heel. Anyway, next up, we've got Kip Sabian interviewing. They had a lot of interviews back to back to back. They need to figure out how to split these up with matches and then interview.
And that reminds me, the intro before the intros were back. Those little, gimmick spots at the start of the show. So that's one thing.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I think that's a good thing. Anyway, Kip Sabian is interviewed by Lexi Nair. And Sabian brings out the real money makers of AEW. Now, we talked about a group that are like the money makers here. We were talking about Bullet Club Gold, but they don't hold a candle to the real money makers of AEW television, the workhorsemen.
Right.
Anyway,
these
they
guys,
challenged
man.
Mark Briscoe and two other people of his choosing for a match later tonight.
Yeah. And seeing how this eventually played out, not even JD Drake could ruin this for me.
I can't stand JD Drake, man. I don't even know what they see in him, man. He's just any Joe Blow off the street, man.
Every time I see JD Drake, I think, man, I'm sure Conrad Thompson said he was never going to wrestle or anything like that, right?
He does look like a smaller version of Conrad Thompson. And that's saying something, because Conrad Thompson's one fat motherfucker. He really is.
So, he's a big man. All right, anyway, next up, speaking of jobbers, The Kingdom. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett with Roderick Strong defeat James McGregor and Brixton Nash.
Wait, how did you find out who these people were?
I looked it up.
I was gonna say, we certainly didn't learn it from the program.
No, I do think that Jobby McJobberton got a name out though. The McGregor one, I'm pretty sure, because I remember hearing McGregor and going, yeah, like that other guy who's a McGregor. I know that guy. The fuck is that guy? Anyway, yeah, the Kingdom beat these guys up, and then Strong came in with like I don't even know what it was. It was like a high knee, and then he went back into his wheelchair again. So that was cool. Yeah, pretty much just a squash match. And I don't think any of this is doing the Kingdom any favors. I think the Kingdom actually need to get wins against real tag teams if we're going to build the Kingdom into something. I don't necessarily think they should, but I think if they're going to, they need to get them wins against somebody. Again, the problem with that is who the fuck is an actual tag team in AEW that have cash? Like,
well, there's Cash Cashin and Dax Daxon.
yeah, but I mean,
but you meant the other kind of cash.
Yeah, who has cachet in this tag team division?
Yeah.
Who you could beat and then be like, look, wow, they actually got a win against them. Like, you could have them come out and beat the Hardys. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, everybody's done that.
Yeah. You could have them come out and beat yeah, I guess FTR. That's about the only team that you could beat.
All right, so how about, okay, here's what'll make up for it. If he changed his name to Cachet Wheeler, then
Cachet,
you can definitely beat a team with some cachet, right?
That's true. That's true. Mark Briscoe is interviewed backstage, and he's yeah, I'll kick your ass, boys. And then FTR came in, and they were like, "Hey, we'll help you." And then Mark was like, "Yeah."
I don't need your folk tonight, but I love y'all. Yeah, it's like
something.
Like,
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Your southern accent is like my Australian accent, Jimmy. It's not good.
Wow. Come on, Chris, man. Nah. I know it's shocking, man.
All right,
I'm trying, Chris.
Next up, match absolutely no one could have seen the booking for coming. Nobody could have possibly seen how this match was going to play out. Darby Allin and Lance Archer.
Didn't we already say this was a spoiler?
Yeah.
Not a prediction?
Honestly, we saw this and we were like, well, sorry, Lance.
It disgusts me, man.
Why? It's just...
You know what's even more disgusting? He dominated this match in many ways. And I mean, he fucking... I'm telling you, Darby Allin must have been pretty messed up after the match. I mean, that chokeslam on the apron looks savage, dude.
That looked like it legitimately hurt.
Oof. And what's worse, and it's not Lance's fault, really, but maybe it is, I guess. But I love Lance. But anyway, at the end of the match, you know how he kicked out a 3.5, the commentators want to say, like, that protects him, right? Somehow. But not only does he get right back up, like, it's like nothing happened to Lance, while Darby is selling at least, like he's, fucked up on the mat. But I don't blame him for being like that, because I'd be frustrated too anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, frustrated is one way to put it. When you're a 300-pound, 6'8" monster, and everybody just knows, oh, you're gonna lose to Darby Allin. For sure you are.
Fuck, man.
Like, you're not beating Darby.
And it does nothing for Darby. It really doesn't, man. Well, you can throw all the big guys you want at Darby. Honestly, at this point, it doesn't do anything for Darby.
And also,
because he beats them all.
And also, they're trying to get over a heel faction afterwards, right? A new heel faction, because that's what we need in AEW is more heel factions that are, cultish.
God damn,
so Darby wins, and then Jake takes the microphone and he says something. I cannot for the life of me understand what Jake the Snake Roberts is saying anymore. But anyway, the Righteous came out, and yeah, they're, I guess, teaming with Jake and Lance Archer. Now listen, one way that you could have gotten these guys over as a threat is you have them get involved in the match and cost Darby Allin the match, and then Darby has an excuse as to why he lost the match. You can keep Darby strong, but also Lance Archer gets a pinfall victory, on television. I don't
Chris, just
understand.
quietly.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I can't get Far Cry out of my head now since you said that.
These are the fucking Seed family from Far Cry. Like,
They really are, man. I can't get. Every time I see him now, I'm just like, damn it, he's right. It's Far Cry. It really is. I mean,
yeah.
Isn't it Far Cry 3 or 4?
It's 4. Yeah.
It's 4, right?
Is it 4 or is it? Yeah, it's the one where they're in Montana. Anyway.
Right, yeah. Oh, is that 5? No, 4. It is 4.
It's 4.
I think.
I'm pretty sure it's 4. Vet. Have any opinions about this?
Well, to quote the great Chris Sabin, I love this match. I think if you completely separate your look, it's very unfortunate what has happened to Lance Archer, okay? But it doesn't matter. He's cooked. He's been cooked. It's not going to ever change. So who cares? So I'm just going to look at what we saw within the match itself. I thought they wrestled a damn near perfect match. As a matter of fact, the only thing that was bad was the fact that, like you guys already pointed out, the post-match business, Lance Archer is fine. And he just has to sit there being fine while microphones get handed off to from guy to guy doing promos, and Lance Archer's just sitting there quietly mad. And then as soon as they're done with that, that's when, he can spring back to action. That part was terrible. They should not have done this. But the match those two guys had was a great match. It was the best match they could have had. It doesn't matter if Darby needed the win or not. It's Lance Archer should just be happy he had a good match for once.
And booked for 2 weeks straight.
I can't say that it's happened that many times, whether that's his fault or not. But yeah, just seeing some of the things that, and even just like the, when they do they do the first lockup and he spins him around and just tosses him, he just ends up tossed from the lockup position, not like, the old, I'm going to rear back and shove you off because that's what every big guy does to a smaller guy. No, it was like, we're going to spin around and you're going to go spinning and flying. Like, that had to be a Darby Allin call because I've never seen Lance Archer do that in any of the matches that he's been in. So little creative things like that is where I think people don't give Darby some of the credit he deserves as being a worker, a thinking man's wrestler, someone that's coming up trying to do new things, because all they remember is the times when he lets people, damn near maim him in the ring, which, that's just what he's going to do. It's not a question of him being too young and stupid to figure it out. He knows exactly what he's doing and he's willing to throw himself quite literally, at the feet of everybody in order to just be that sort of different. But that takes away from a lot of what he does from a technical aspect, and a psychology aspect. So many little details, I don't know what you guys look for when you're trying to look for a good match, you guys individually, or even what the average fan would think, when they're watching a match. I don't know what makes a match good to them. But when I see Darby Allin in the ring, he's one of those guys where I'm watching him and I watch him with the same sort of masterpiece, that you would watch a Bret Hart or a Shawn Michaels or a Ric Flair or any of those guys that are able to, a Terry Funk or, or Jay White or Okada, to use modern, or MJF at times, the guys that really think about their matches, the guys that put a lot of thought into what they actually do at their job, their 9-to-5 job. What do we do here? And Darby's stunts overshadow that, whether he's flying off a big wheel onto something.
I think to the average fan it does, but we've been saying it on our shows too. Darby, and I've said it a million times, Darby understands who he is.
Yeah,
as a wrestler, he gets it, right?
He gets it. Like, he gets it more than most people, and that's why that's one of the things that actually, like, to our credit, I think, Jimmy, like, when we first saw Darby Allin, I think both of us were like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
right? Yeah.
This tiny little fucking dude, right? This is stupid. This is another tiny dude in this company. And I gotta say, like, for the first maybe 3 weeks that we covered AEW, I considered him to be the same as like an Orange Cassidy. I put them in the exact same boat. I was like, these guys are both small and it's stupid and I can't fucking stand it. But I think that's all it took, was about 3 weeks for me to go, oh, hang on a second. Darby Allin actually understands. Like, he knows who he's supposed to be.
He does. He really does, man.
And I think I remember seeing a tweet once where somebody had tweeted at him something about, like, as a smaller guy, like, people like Darby Allin need to be, selling more, and it needs to be more about like them having to work really hard to get to get offense in. And I think, to his credit, I remember him retweeting that and saying, I agree. Like, that's exactly what I need to do. Like, you're right. Like, I do need to sell. I do need to actually, like, it does need to look like I'm having to kill myself to land offense on people who are bigger than me. Cause that's actually what it would look like if we were having an actual fight. And I got to say, since then, I've had a lot of really good things to say about Darby Allin's work. And no, like, I agree with you that this was a good match. Like, this was a really
probably
good
the match of the night, really, when you think about it.
I don't even think it was close. I don't think there was anything that even came close to this in terms of being a really good match. It's just the logic of everything else that fucking drives me nuts. And it's not their fault. It's not the talent's fault. And again, like, I try to say this often, and I think that sometimes it gets lost. Most of my criticism for AEW is not on the talent. It's the people making the booking decisions. Why are we doing this nonsense? This is silly. That doesn't make any sense. But most of the talent are out there doing the best they can. And even when you have talent who are green, I don't even blame the talent for watching them, because it's like, if you're the booker, you should know, hey, this guy's not ready for TV, right? Let's get somebody else in here who can take the bump or whatever, or who can do the thing, can make the spot happen. But let's get somebody in here who knows what they're doing. But if you're the talent and you're being told to go out there and having a Ric Flair fucking match, and you go out there and stink the fucking joint out, but it's broadcast all over TV, I have very little negative to say about the talent, right? It's like, you went out there and you took advantage of an opportunity, and you're trying, man. You're trying. I have nothing but nice things to say about talent, for the most part. But the people booking things and the people making decisions on storylines, those are the people who I'm left going, what the fuck are you doing? What kind of decisions are you making here? Again, like, the fucking righteous coming out, and like, that's going to be a thing now. Why does that have to be a thing? Like, we already have like 3 fucking cults in this company.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, yeah, I guess just, along with my a la carte theory, I ordered a Darby Allin, and I was very satisfied. 5 stars, would order again.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed come out to celebrate 69 days as AEW Trios champions. Get it? Do you guys get it?
No. What is it?
Because it's 69.
What's a 69? No.
It's like it's the sexual
the
position.
96.
Well, you see, Jimmy, when a man and a woman love each other very much, or a man and a man love each other very much in this case.
Yuck, dude.
Or even a woman and a woman love each other very much. As long as some combination of those loves each other very much.
And they're sitting on opposite ends, correct?
As
Something
long
like
as 2 consenting adults love each other very much, is what Vet is trying to say. Yeah. So anyway, that goes exactly how you would expect it to go. Much sexual tension. Haha. Look at how gay we are. Isn't it so gay? Don't you just love how gay everybody is? Look,
they bought a cameo from MJF for
yeah. That would have been
what is
creative.
His cameo rate?
They should have seen how much funny would have that been if they actually had some brains like the Vet does, I see. It's little simple things like that what makes the vet. You know what I mean? It's that simple. And but it's not that simple for people to come up with something as great as that is. Tell me it wouldn't have been a funnier sort of segment if they played up that was a cameo appearance. They had to pay for that. That would have been money, man.
100%. Instead, they had to focus on how gay everything is. Look at how gay. It's super gay. Super duper gay.
The gay dudes that had a problem came out. Like, you know what I mean? No, we're gay out, basically,
Exactly. This is the truth, by the way, of the LGBTQ QIAAA plus community. They fight a lot. Like, lesbians and gays don't get along with each other, and trans and gays don't get along with each other a lot. Like,
a lot of gays hate trans people, man.
It's not one community. It's a whole bunch of communities. So anyway, Dalton Castle and the boys come out and they're upset, and they're like, "Guys, you're being too gay." That's not what they said, but they could have.
Implying.
Would have been funnier. Anyway, they break the trophy. Is that right?
I was shocked. Yeah, it was a trophy, and I was shocked. I was like, what? I thought it was going to be a full gay party, but like a Mardi Gras, but...
Yeah, Mardi Gras. No. Instead, it turns into a trios match. I'm shocked, by the way, that Dalton Castle and the boys didn't win. Isn't that shocking? Yeah. All right.
No Peacock either. I'm disappointed. Not the proper Peacock anyway.
No Peacock. Anyway, we're going to move right along here. Andrade El Idolo was interviewed next by Lexi Nair.
Yes.
And he's revealed that he's going to see CJ Perry.
Hot and flexible.
Yes. I'm going to see if she will wear my mask. That's not actually what was said, but it would have been funnier.
See.
Yeah.
Just a quick update, guys. MJF is currently unavailable to book for cameos, so I couldn't see a price.
Oh, you were literally looking for Oh, that's disappointing. I mean, how much money he'd make if he did that, though? Like, really? You'd just be giving shit to everyone?
Well, I mean, he's on there, but I'm just saying, you cannot book one now. You have to follow him to be notified when he is once again available for booking your cameos. Yeah. Damn. Also, according to his profile, he's 40, so that's pretty funny.
That's funny.
Sweet.
But it is him.
It is him.
Next up here, we finally get that match that Vet's been looking forward to as Mark Briscoe, Keith Lee, and Dustin Rhodes defeat Kip Sabian and the Workhorsemen.
Yeah, don't you know they're a team, Chris? True Vet?
Everything about this was wrong except for the part where my two of my favorite wrestlers finally teamed up, Mark Briscoe and Keith Lee on the same team, and I will take Dustin Rhodes. If this is the a la carte thing and I ordered a Keith Lee and I ordered a Mark Briscoe, and then it comes with this comes with a complimentary fruit cup, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take a fruit cup. That's Dustin Rhodes. Then
Dustin Rhodes is a fruit cup?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Roddy Piper called him that before WrestleMania.
He probably did. Perhaps it's just a serendipitous choice of words on my part, but nonetheless, yes. I love Mark Briscoe. Just put Mark Briscoe on television, put Mark Briscoe on merchandise, everything Mark Briscoe. I've been saying this for years. I just don't see how he's not like a merchandising machine at this point. Everybody loves Mark Briscoe. Adults love Mark Briscoe. Kids love Mark Briscoe.
Chickens.
Wrestlers love Mark Briscoe. Fans love Mark Briscoe. Everybody loves him. He's the perfect guy. And then you have Keith Lee there, and he's limitless, and you bask in his glory. And Dustin Rhodes is there too, complimentary.
The natural.
So even the fact that you had, Anthony Henry, I mean, okay, sure. Kip Sabian, fine. Was Penelope out there? I don't recall.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, okay. So minus a little bit for that, Like if I'm doing a Yelp review, maybe I'll have to take a star off for that. But ultimately, I was just excited, and this match was basically exactly what it should have been. It didn't last too long. The good guys beat them up and won. One problem with it, if you want to take it out of the vacuum and look at the overall thing, we just had a 6-man tag match. Now, granted, it wasn't a booked one, like it was impromptu supposedly, which is stupid in and of itself. But I think, isn't the ladies match, the Willow and Emmy match, isn't that next, Chris?
Yes.
So if you would have just flip-flopped that, like that would have been fine. You have a women's match buffer between the 6-man matches or whatever. But
the problem with that though is that the main event's an 8-man. So I know that an 8-man and a 6-man aren't exactly the same thing. And my mind went to the same thing as yours did. Why are we having 6-man matches back to back? It's fucking stupid, right? Like, and again, this is another example where they had all of these fucking video things right next to each other at the start of the match. It was just video. Now we're going to get into matches. And it was like, why the fuck didn't we break that up? Right? Have back-to-back, videos from MJF and then Jay White. And then rather than going straight to Kip Sabian next, why don't we go to the next match? And then we can run the Kip Sabian promo. And then we can do the next thing, right? But instead we go 6-man match, right back to back. And I think that the reason why they put Emily Soccer Stars match as a buffer there is to keep it from the main event, because a 6-man into an 8-man match, and they didn't want to take any of the shine away from the main event.
Or they could have just reordered the whole card to make sense, and then we wouldn't have to worry about any of this. But regardless, they can't do anything to ruin this for me. Mark Briscoe and Keith Lee on a team. This is 9 stars in the Observer for me.
Oh, 9 stars. That's a new record bit.
Sweet. Froggy Bow for the win.
Yes.
And I completely agree with you about Mark Briscoe. That guy, I know he was injured. They should have kept him on TV anyway. They should have been doing stuff. He's entertaining, man.
If
funny.
Swerve Strickland can send in a crime, I want to see a video from Mark Briscoe from home, okay?
Literally.
From his own home, not Hangman's wife's home.
Yeah, send me a video of fucking Mark Briscoe just like tending to the chickens. That's fine. That's fine. I'll take it. I'll take that. Give me a 90-second video every week he's injured of Mark Briscoe hanging out with his fucking chickens. That's awesome.
And Papa Briscoe too. You need Papa Briscoe in there too, man. He's great.
And I like to point out that Mark Briscoe has some snazzy new gear too. So he didn't just come back the same old Mark Briscoe. He had some nice, clean looking ass shorts, pretty cool.
Not just the same old camo. It's cool.
Right?
True. That's actually good observation there, Vic.
Good for him. All right. So next up, Mark Briscoe. This is
where it gets even better. This is just like Christmas all at once right now.
All right. Mark Briscoe backstage after the win. And he says he's been watching the show. And I'm sorry, Mark, first of all. But Jay White is an imposter. And he's not the real world champion. And I want to wrestle you Wednesday for your shot at the world title at Full Gear. So I have 2 very different ways of thinking about this. First of all, hooray, I get to see Mark Briscoe in a meaningful match. But secondly, Mark Briscoe just won his first tag match in like 4.5 months, and he's going to get a shot to beat the guy.
Number 1 contender, baby.
He's going to get a shot at the number 1 contendership on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to the match, but what the fuck?
Who cares? Yeah. It's happening.
That is
love this company.
Consistent.
That's it. You don't complain. You just love it.
He just loves what he loves and he hates what he hates. He's got his a la carte menu. And he doesn't
yes. Wrestling is fucked. There's no point in trying to enjoy it or make sense of it other than, you can only like what you like. It's so far gone. There's no helping it. They don't listen to help. They specifically don't want help. AEW, WWE, everybody thinks they know better. Okay, so they're not interested in ideas. They're not interested in help. They'll steal it and act like they came up with it if they hear it, if they overhear it somewhere. But I'm fine with that. So I just have to find the enjoyment where I can. And if you tell me that Mark Briscoe and Jay White are going to be in a singles match, I don't give a fuck where it is. Give it to me now.
Yep. I agree. Like I said, I've got two minds of this. First of all, what? And secondly, awesome. I don't care. Fuck. Like, you're going to give me two guys who really get professional wrestling in a singles match with stakes? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do the stakes make sense? No. Is it still going to be fucking cool to watch? Yep. And this was the first of a couple of interesting things they set up for Wednesday that I thought, okay, I don't know why, but cool. We'll get to that. But not before we get to Willow Nightingale and Emily Soccer Star having a match that lasted a really long time. They talked quite a bit at the beginning. Go ahead, Vitt.
I just have a question for you, Chris.
Go ahead.
Do you prefer Freddie Mercury Emmy or Ojo Sama Emmy?
What the fuck is an Ojo Sama?
It's like a haughty royalty type.
That's a tough one.
You love Mercury fucking Emmy, don't you?
I gotta say,
it comes with a mustache. That one
comes with a mustache.
It does. I have a caveat though. If we're gonna go back to Freddie Mercury, Emily Soccer Star, I'm fine with it. But then they have to shell out the money and get a Queen song. It doesn't even have to be a good one, but it has to be a Queen song. Like, I want it all. Is fine. That's fine.
But that's Dalton Castle would be like, hey. Right. But that's fine if they give it to her. If he doesn't, something, anything. Okay, I like it. I like your thought process there. All right, continue.
Okay. One thing that I did love was fucking Nigel on commentary to start.
Oh,
this
he killed
match.
it, man.
He said we have gotten word that that the Clam Digger is recovering from his orbital bone surgery, and while he's been out, he's created a website specifically for those people who are recovering from orbital bone surgery. and they went, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Yes, it's a site for sore eyes."
And did you hear him earlier when he was saying, "What's a 69er? Is that a 96, Tony?" He's going like that. A 96.
Nigel's great. I just anything where I don't have to listen to Excalibur is great. But Nigel's
Excalibur's not on the show, so
I know exactly. But Nigel's great. They talked about how Emily Soccer Star is like a really great trainer of professional wrestlers. Prove it.
Isn't Sheeta one of them, Vitt?
Yeah.
Well, that tells you everything you need to know, right?
Hikaru gives a Sheeta, and the other Japanese girl who Kenny fucked. What's her name again?
Oh, Riho?
Yeah, that girl. They were both trained by Emily Soccer Star.
I love how you call her Emily Soccer Star, but I must say that.
She's not good.
Who, Emily Soccer Star?
She really isn't. There were a number of things that she did in this match where I just went, okay, that could work, but not against Willow. Doesn't make any sense to do that against somebody.
Speaking of Willow,
like
though,
this.
what happened to her dark?
I mean,
she's recovered.
It's
still there a little tiny bit.
Are you sure about that?
On just one eye, yep.
Okay.
Like at one point, Emily took her to the outside, and then she did a thing where she whips her into the barricade, but she holds her arm and then whips her into the ring post, and then whips her into the barricade, and then whips her into the ring post. That spot would be awesome if she happened to be wrestling Riho, who's like 87 pounds, right? That would be a really cool spot. But when somebody the size and physical makeup of Emily Soccer Star is doing that against somebody who's legitimately probably twice her size, it looks really phony. Like, unless she had done something like to say blind Willow before she put that spot off, or somehow incapacitate Willow so that it makes sense. But like, she did that against somebody who's twice her size. It would be like Rey Mysterio, like, you know, doing like 4 body slams back to back against Big Show. It doesn't make any sense. Don't run that spot against that opponent. You have to know who you're in there with and make it make sense, right? Yeah, anyway, this match
and
went
furthermore to that point, even if it's a case of like, you know, unless you're a Big Show and a Rey Mysterio, for most people that are even approaching the similar size, you try dragging somebody by the arm that doesn't want to go and see how well that works out for you.
Yeah. No, again, like, and as somebody who watched a lot and actually competed in mixed martial arts and boxing and stuff like that, like, you can't just be silly unless that's the point. Like, unless you're doing something to be silly, the silliness just looks really fucking fake and stupid. And that's all I got out of this. People keep talking about Emily. I would not let her train my daughters. If she said she would train my daughters for free in wrestling, I would say no, because I don't want my kids to be this stupid.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. So, yeah, and this match just went on way too fucking long. Jimmy, I'm going to ask you to defend them talking about how amazing this fantastic Joshi wrestler is. Tell me all about how wonderful the Joshi Emily Soccer Star is, please.
Well, Jimmy cracked corn and
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. All right. I don't care either. Let's move on. Willow gets the win. Anyways. Next up, another thing that I was pretty excited about for Wednesday, we get to see Samoa Joe. He's backstage and he's feeling pretty all right about himself. And he's
he had a little shiner. Did you notice that?
I did notice that, but you know what? Samoa Joe don't give a fuck. That's not a thing that bothers Samoa Joe at all. Anyway, yeah, he's backstage there with Lexi Nair, and Lexi says, "You know, you're coming up on a record for longest reign with the ROH Television Championship." To which I thought, and he's defended it 6 times. But anyway, it's cool. It's cool. And Joe's like, "Yeah, I've held this a long time, and I've beaten everybody that they've put in the ring against me." And then Keith Lee comes in and he's like, "Excuse me, sir, but that is incorrect. You haven't beaten me." To which I thought to myself, but you haven't been in the ring yet. So Joe didn't tell a lie. He did beat everyone who he's been in. But anyway, they're setting up for a match on Wednesday between Keith Lee and Samoa Joe.
Chris.
So I'm excited for that. Why does he get a shot at the ROH TV title? Don't know, but
because he walked in.
But Keith Lee versus, but I mean, hey, you put that on a fucking graphic, Keith Lee versus Samoa Joe. Yes,
yeah, but
please.
Keith Lee's going to lose anyway, so you know.
It's still going to be a really good match.
Actually, no. Actually, Keith Lee will win. Actually, I'll take that back. It's about time Joe drops that championship. Actually, man. So I'm all for Keith Lee winning. As a matter of fact, I think he will win, and he'll be a mainstay in Ring of Honor after that, showing his limitless talents in Ring of Honor.
I keep saying they need to announce for he is limitless after they announce his weight, because that's just the best. That would be awesome. Weighing in at 412 pounds, for he is limitless. Yeah.
Yeah, Keith Lee.
Anyway, Vet, are you excited? I'm excited.
Yes.
Yay.
I can't wait.
And Jimmy?
It's going to be the best Dynamite ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am excited for the match on paper.
But yes. Okay, listen, there are a number of things that they've set up for Wednesday that look like they're going to be fun, but please do not forget, do not ever forget from now until Wednesday. Keep it in your mind. This should be like Remembrance Day. This should be like Veterans Day, and you should always remember and never forget that MJF is going to face Daniel Garcia.
Oh, yes. I
Well,
can't
they
wait. I'm
gotta,
licking
they
my
gotta
lips.
balance it out somehow.
Yeah.
They can't just
Yeah,
give us
pal.
all this goodness and expect us to get away scot-free.
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, it's time for the main
Does
event.
anyone get the feeling we're going to get a dance-off between MJF and Daniel Garcia? You know that they're both capable of pulling that off. I've seen MJF do this stupid shit before.
I'm hoping that Daniel Garcia starts a dance-off, and then MJF...
Like the lights go out, and he starts doing his shit too, and, well, Garcia's doing this, you know what I mean? It's going to be, I'm telling you, television.
Stop giving them ideas, Jimmy.
I'm telling you, you'll see. There'll be a dance-off.
That?
All you need is Willow's
There
theme
will,
for
there
it,
will
and it's
also
on.
be Jay White versus Mark Briscoe and Keith Lee versus Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor Television Championship.
What is the Battle of the Belts?
Damn near.
Anyway, they've got me. They've got two matches on that card that I'm interested in seeing. So they've got me. I'm gonna watch.
I'm pumped.
I'll be
Even
watching.
if the skirmish ends today, you will still watch that on your own free time.
Absolutely.
No, I probably wouldn't. Anyway, the main event tonight is, like we said, it's an 8-man match with FTR and La Facción Ingobernables versus Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and the agonizing gates of Embassy Kingdom at something. The Gates of Agony. Tia Leone and Bishop Khan.
Wasn't Tia Leone a model? No, really?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you don't have to look that good to be a model in Polynesia.
No,
so
I'm talking about
I
a
could see
chick.
how this guy might have been a model.
She was in
Was that
Jurassic
an
Park
actress?
3, Jimmy.
Oh, that's it. She's an actress. That's who she is. Is she wrestling tonight?
Yes, she's tag team with Bishop Khan. He didn't get a funny name. He just gets to be his own name here.
That's right.
Oh, I always thought it was a female. But anyway, what do I know?
All right. This match was a match.
It was.
It was aggressively a match. There was wrestling in it.
Well, I don't know about that.
I
Let's calm down a little bit.
I don't fucking know what to say about this shit anymore, man. It was a big fucking fucked 8-man match, and it was just like everybody get your shit in, everybody fuck around. The announcers really tried to get over Big Bill for whatever reason, which I like, but they're not going to do anything with it, so I don't know why they bothered. I have a question, by the way. Now, I'm going to ask both of you in succession, so you both get to answer this question, all right? And I want you to imagine a scenario where I'm the kind of person who doesn't watch Ring of Honor, okay? Imagine that. Well,
I'll stretch my mental limits.
Just really go for it, right?
I'll
I'm
pretend
the
I'm
kind of
Keith
guy...
Lee be limitless here.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he's limited.
That's right.
Well-
I don't watch Ring of Honor. Okay, I never have. I don't fucking give a shit about Ring of Honor. Okay,
really?
I've watched a couple of things with like the Briscoes because I know enough to watch the Briscoes because they're great, right? But other than that, I don't watch Ring of Honor, and I also don't religiously follow CMLL or AAA. Okay, just imagine that I'm that kind of. Imagine that I'm that kind of person.
Okay.
Now I'm going to start with Jimmy. Who the fuck is Roosh?
Who's Roosh?
Yeah, but don't talk to me about Ring of Honor or Mexico.
Just right now. Like, what is he?
I'm an AEW fan. Who the fuck is Roosh?
He's a bull. That's what he is.
Okay. Like a Mantar situation?
Look, you got to use your imagination. All they've told us is a bull and he rushes people.
Okay, that's a good answer.
That's
so far he's Mantar. That same question. I don't watch Ring of Honor. Don't talk to me about Ring of Honor or Mexico. Who the fuck is Roosh?
Okay. A white bull.
Oh, yes.
Let's get that straight. Okay. That's different, man. You can't say Mantar was that. You certainly cannot lay that a Mantar. Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. If you're forget about Mexico, forget about Ring of Honor. It's irrelevant anyway. I mean, he was just brought into Ring of Honor from Mexico, and he basically played himself there, and he's playing himself from there here. He's not any different. Ingobernable, that's the faction he's in now. It's a variation that's different. It's a variation because of copyright reasons,
right?
Legal and copyright reasons, but essentially it's the same idea. They're ungovernable. So that means they can't be controlled. That means they're out of control. That means they're outlaws. So he is an outlaw and he's a badass. Now, here's another angle that I'll approach it from to appeal to you as somebody that may not have watched Ring of Honor or Mexican wrestling, but you are a little bit more than your average wrestling fan. You do know a little bit more and you're a little more involved. So Roosh has a reputation, which we've only heard. Like, I don't know. I never met him or talked to him or anything like that.
He's got a reputation, right?
He's got this reputation of not necessarily wanting to or playing well with others or wanting to do business or always being happy to do any kind of business. So that gives him a certain, not only does that give him a credibility to his gimmick of being somebody that's not going to follow the authority, but it also makes for interesting ways to watch the match, such as a Jack Perry match, for example. Like, it makes things extra exciting. It's almost like when you're watching a sports game that has money on the line for you. Like, it gives it that extra layer of intrigue. Like, now I'm so, oh fuck, what's Rush gonna do now? And that is who Roosh is. If that's not enough for you, I don't know. But I will say this, for me, and I don't really need to say much more than this as far as my review of the match. This match was a fucking mess, and I loved it. And if anybody got over in this match, it was fucking Roosh. And not just because he got the fall and got the glory, the glamour shot pin and all that other stuff, but just because of everything else he did. It was basically, this was designed to be like, okay, this guy is back. And if you didn't know who he is, you're going to remember him after this. Now, granted, everybody's going to say when it comes in that it was only like 300,000 people watching it or whatever, that's irrelevant. But more people will see this than that because they will see clips of this. They'll see spots from this. They may go back and watch the full match at some point. And it was a good reintroduction for him being gone for a while, which I don't think we know why he was gone. It could have been an injury. If it was, they never said. Like, they kept that quiet. Whatever the deal was, maybe there was something involved with the Jack Perry match. Perhaps he had the suspension to quietly serve.
That was his last match, true?
Yes, but there could have been, I don't even know if he would have the balls to suspend that guy. But then again, like I said, this is just the reputation. For all I know, he could be a perfect professional and always do business. I don't know.
I think his aura, like, you can just see he comes across as very edgy in real life, I think. You know what I mean? You don't act like that. I mean, you can be the best actor, but where there's smoke, there's fire, man. I mean, we've all heard those stories for quite a few years now. You know what I mean? It was a miracle that he even signed with Ring of Honor, because another thing that he's known for is he doesn't like signing long-term contracts generally, apparently. So... But then he signed with Ring of Honor, which was a big deal at the time, you know what I mean, when he came from Mexico. But no, it's true. I think he does have a reputation like that. Or everyone's playing up on it, you know what I mean, with him and his mystique. You know what I mean? But he sure does look like a guy you don't want to mess with.
He really does. He really does.
Like, he looks like the type that will chop you up, literally cartel styles, man. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? you know, the attitude that seems to come off of him a lot, like, and this is some inside baseball stuff because I do understand wrestling better than I think the average fan, right? He comes across as the kind of guy who's like, okay, I'm jobbing to you tonight. Take it.
You're going to take it. Definitely. 100%.
You're going to have to take it. Yeah, I'm not giving you the win. You're going to have to come fucking take it from me. And I don't know if that's just him being an excellent worker or him being really unprofessional, but whatever it is, it's entertaining. It really is.
I like it too, right?
And again, the reason why I'm asking this question, the reason why I started with, okay, tell me who the fuck Roosh is and not who the fuck Preston Vance is, because I couldn't give a fuck less about Preston Vance.
I want to know where's Pedro Peligroso.
As much as Jim Ross was getting over, that Preston Vance kid, he's got a good body. Great. Nothing else going on for Preston Vance. Roosh came across like a star in this match.
I don't mind Jalistico too, man.
He's fine, but they've got so many fucking guys in matches.
I know,
already.
but he reminds me of a Mexican version of Bushi. Do you know what I mean? Because very similar, like it's at Los Ingobernables, from the Los Ingobernables de Japan. In other words,
there's a De Japan version of this group.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This goes way back. Naito started with these guys. I'm saying.
just fucking with you. I know that.
Yeah, and Andrade.
But honestly, though, even in this match, I got to say, it looked like when Roosh was being asked to, like, sell for other people, there was a real sense of, like, okay, come take it. Like, okay, I'm going to sell for you for this fucking move, Ricky. Okay, then you better come fucking land something. Because I'm not just going to fall down after you miss from 3 feet away from me, right? Like, you have to actually fucking do something to make it look like you're beating me. I really, really was impressed with how Roosh worked in this match. He looked like the star during the whole thing, and he looked like the star at the end. Not just because he got the pin, but because after he got the pin, FTR went for a handshake, and he was just like, no, we're fucking awesome. Who the fuck are you?
Bad. Why do they want to touch everybody anyway? I'm talking about FTR.
I really hope that they give him something to explain who the fuck he is. Like,
that's the problem. And you know what's sad?
That's what all those vignettes leading up to this were for.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're probably for nothing
vignettes.
too.
You don't remember when they were in the boardroom and he was explaining exactly who he was? You don't remember that?
No.
Actually, he did explain it about 2 weeks ago. Wasn't it? About 2 weeks ago before the return. That's true. He did actually. But you know what's sad?
You're saying, hey, I want someone to explain to me who this guy is. And Roosh is saying, come and take it.
He did. He actually did say that.
Watch my vignette, motherfucker.
He really, really, no shit. You're spot on, Vet. He actually said it in those words, verbatim. Come get it. Yeah. Like, literally, come take it, whatever he said. Yeah, but it was along those lines. But you know what's sad? His potential, I think he could be a huge star in pro wrestling, but I guess his attitude is what holds him back.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard interviews with a few different people who have talked about his professionalism being a problem. I don't necessarily trust Conan about everything that he says, but I do kind of believe him when he says, look, this kid's hard to work with.
Oh, did you hear the stories about that? Apparently when you try calling him up, he doesn't answer the phone. He's very unprofessional that way. That's one thing Conan said, I remember, actually, on Keeping It 100.
Yeah. I don't exactly trust that Conan keeps it 100. Maybe like 90s, maybe in the 90s, mid 90s probably. I think Conan's pretty trustworthy, but he's also a wrestling promoter, so he definitely has some bullshit that he can spew out there. But I have heard from him that Roosh has some professionalism problems, but I don't need to worry about that as a fan. And I really liked what Roosh brought to the ring tonight. And the last time I saw him, he had easily one of the most entertaining matches I've ever seen on AEW television when he kicked the ever-loving fuck out of Jungle Boy Jack Perry. So I'm a fan.
He actually suspended Jack Perry.
So I'm a fan. And I'd like to see where they go with them. I really would have liked more leading into this. And again, it's not like it's the end of the story. They could easily next week have have him do like an interview segment or have him do more vignettes or whatever, where they're really explaining, okay, why should I care about this guy? What is his goals? Like why was he involved in this match was sort of my question. Is like, I see him as a heel. Right.
Well, technically it was from last week, wasn't it? When
he's the Mexican Walter White, basically, right? He's a gangster. He's a Mexican gangster. He's Roman Reigns, but for Mexicans. But like, why is he teaming with the face team against the heel team? Like, that's what didn't make sense to me. It was like, why the fuck is he here fighting these people? But as far as like the actual match is concerned, he was easily and unquestionably the star out of the 8 people who were in the match. And yeah, I'm hoping to see more of him, and I'm hoping to see him do big things, because he seems like a guy who I could get behind, because he seems like a guy who's going to lay his shit in and make sure that the match looks like it's a fucking fight, which is, I want to watch a match that looks like a fight. Like, that's what I want. I want a match to look like 2 people competing to win against each other. But anyway, as far as the overall of this show goes, I'm going to give it a D. And it's really just because there was a bunch of people on tonight that I liked. The actual formatting of the show was crap. And it felt like the thunderest of collisions. Just really, really secondary. But there was a number of people on the show that I like a lot, and it made it palatable for me. So it's going to get a D, not because the show was good, but because I'm sort of getting more and more into the vet's idea of a la carting wrestling, and there was some people on the night who I liked. So going to give it a D.
It's actually
Jimmy?
Good move, vet. Yeah, I agree. A D. I wouldn't say an F, but it was border. It was close. But yeah, it was a weird show, man. Like, it had a lot of the wrestlers that you want to see. It's true, but it was just, I don't know, man. It was meaningless. We had our 69 Partiki, which is stupid as can be. It felt like a pillow match, really. That match, like with the boys and Dalton and the 69 crew in the Acclaimed. Really, all that was missing, they had a piñata. All we needed was pillows and feathers everywhere. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, so a D. And the main event to me was non-existent.
Yeah. It was
Like,
a good
other than Rush.
performance from Rush.
Right.
But the match was just...
It was just Rush. It was about Rush. Whether that was by design, I'm not sure, or Rush took it in his own hands. If he did, great. That's what you got to do sometimes with this company to get noticed, or not, because he might disappear again for the next 10 weeks. But in saying that, yeah, a D.
It's a weird D for me. It's a really weird D, because there were moments of this night where I was like, this is good. I like this. The match, for instance, between Darby and Lance
Archer, right?
Lance Archer was
Best
a good
match of the
wrestling
night.
match. The performance from Rush in the main event was a good performance, right? Like, if I'm booking, Rush comes backstage and I'm going, good job, man. Everybody else, whatever, put your shit on and go home. Right? Like whatever.
Lance and Darby, they both worked
Right.
great too. We got to give them
Yeah,
that. There's about
that's
3
just it,
guys,
right? There's
right.
and also I liked the segment with Samoa Joe. I thought that because I'm actually excited to see Joe and Keith Lee wrestle,
On
but also
paper,
because
looks
I
great.
think Samoa Joe is one of the best. Like, he's one of the most believable motherfuckers in professional wrestling. I love Samoa Joe.
And I love how smooth he is with his talking, man. His promo game is so smooth that you take him serious because he's just talking to you. You know what I mean?
But then
He's not
there was
screaming,
15
he's not
minutes
like,
of
you know-
Emily Soccer Star and Willow.
Well,
You know.
we need a soccer star sometimes.
Anyway, tell us if we're wrong. Tell us what your letter grade is.
Your opinions are subjective, therefore they cannot be wrong. However, I am gonna go with a B+.
What?
And the reason being, sure, the format was an absolute mess. When isn't it? And sure, there was a lot of meaningless stuff. When isn't there? But how often do they parade out this many people that you want to see? And no, other than that one match, none of it lasted too long. Some of it didn't even last long enough. So, and even the match that was too long, I believe I got hung up in there, and I don't know how long it was because I started watching it. I started watching the show during my break, but my break was over, so I had to stop there, and I said, I'll finish when I get home. Then I skipped to the part that I thought I was at, but that may have been further than I was. So I'm not sure if I saw exactly how long the match is, but what I did see was something I'd never seen before, which is Willow went for a fat guy crossbody on Emi Sakura, who was sitting up. But when she sat up, she leaned forward, and Willow crossbodied the crown of her head. It was glorious. I've never seen that in my life. I'll never see the likes of it again, I'm quite sure, because they couldn't have replicated that if they tried it 10 more times. And so even that match had some entertainment value. So because they fulfilled like all of my my a la carte menu and gave me a complimentary fruit cup, I'm giving it a B+.
You're so full of shit, Bet.
What?
That has
at least I exist.
That has figured out how to enjoy professional wrestling 2023. Yes. Just ignore all the bad.
A la carte, that's all it is, man. B.
That's good.
That is the funniest B ever.
There's a B+. That's just a B.
B+.
All right.
You
well,
make
with
me
that,
cry,
with that
man.
said,
I'm teary.
with that said,
my
tell
God.
the people where they can find you.
You can find me at Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms, and you can find me at Opinion Haver on Twitch right after this. When I can give you more letter grades on things if you like. So come and say hello and chat with me there. And then you can find me all over the Jaime Media Group network. Got my next level review every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Thank you, Jimmy, for joining me last week in place of Big Ray Hernandez, who should be back this Wednesday. And we'll talk about the news and NXT. And then, of course, you can also find me every Monday on the Impact Attack, which is still called the Impact Attack for now. But we'll be talking about TNA this week, Brandon and myself. And that's going to be, if you want to join us live, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, to hear about all the goings-on with TNA Wrestling, which they just had Turning Point, and I'm not looking forward to having to watch that. But nonetheless, I'll do it for all of you, the people. And then, of course, check out Wrestling with Rib Rogers every Friday, and check out Stevie Richards every minute of every day, constantly posting videos. He's posting more videos than the number of minutes that Emmy and Willow went last night.
That was long as, man, that match. It's true.
All right, Jimmy,
maybe he can do a what went wrong on the fat guy crossbody to the crown of the head.
I've given him suggestions just last week too. I forgot what match I was talking about, but yeah, I've thrown some suggestions. He said, "Nah, not yet. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm doing something else," and I'm like, "Nah." But anyway, you can follow me on the X at DJ Mass Effects, and also you can follow us at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com with $5. Not only do you get the realest talk, you get the best talk in all of wrestling. HaimeMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows, and the PWC Network.podbean.com for all of our shows. And yeah, that's it from me.
Right on. You can find me at all of the stuff that these guys said. Also, I'm at Chris Ambs 1 on Twitter. You can go there to see everything I have to say about pro wrestling, politics, and whatever the hell else comes to my mind. For the vet, for Jimmy T, and for everybody in the chat today, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. We really do appreciate the audience. Thank you very much for being here and being a part of the show. And you can catch us here next week at the same time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Olay, motherfuckers!
Peace.
Saturday night
PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.